It's the scandal the racing industry didn't want on the day of the nation's richest horse race, the Melbourne Cup. Champion jockey Damien Oliver has reportedly admitted he placed an illegal $10,000 bet on a race he was in 2 years ago. He bet on a horse he wasn't riding that went on to win the race. Oliver rode in today's Cup without success. Those honours went to the horse Green Moon, owned by businessman Lloyd Williams. But it was the sensational headlines around Damien Oliver today that were the talk of the track, as Guy Stainer reports.
Another Cup day at Flemington, and as always, the horses are on the track well before dawn. Trainer Wayne Hawkes hopes it's his lucky day.
Gee, if we didn't have the internationals this year, my lucky day would be a very, very short price favourite, I would have thought.
Hunters are pouring through the turnstiles. There are car park barbecues, fashions on the field, and dressing to be noticed, if not to impress. But while this year's Melbourne Cup looked the same as any other, it had a different air. On the 10th anniversary of Damien Oliver's famous Melbourne Cup win on Media Puzzle, just days after the death of his brother Jason, Oliver was again the talk of Flemington, but the questions were a lot harder to answer.
What about all this news about Damien Oliver fronting the stewards yesterday?
I'm just going to have 1 second. I just need to have a little excuse. If I win the Melbourne Cup, Damien Oliver is going to be the furthest thing from my mind.
The timing's very bad, but a good clean-out might be a very, very good thing.
There was a whiff of corruption around the stables, and aficionados thought there was something rotten in the state of racing.
If Damien Oliver has admitted to placing an illegal bet to Racing Victoria officials, and they have delayed justice to allow the Melbourne Cup to run with Oliver's participation, then they're going to have something to answer for. It's one thing not to have got to the end of an inquiry by this stage, because that's commonplace, but if he's admitted his guilt, I find it very difficult to imagine why action hasn't been expedited, and Oliver probably shouldn't be in this race.
Damien Oliver awoke to find he was again making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Fairfax newspapers reported Oliver had admitted to stewards he bet $10,000 on a rival horse to win at Moonee Valley 2 years ago. That horse was Miss Octopussy, and it won.
The word is that you've admitted that you did place the bet. I've got no comment to make, mate.
While the allegations aren't new, the suggestion he has admitted guilt to stewards is new, and prompted the question if Oliver has admitted guilt about a very serious breach of racing's code of conduct, why was he still riding in the Melbourne Cup? Should Damien Oliver be riding in the Melbourne Cup?
Absolutely not. I think it's quite obvious that it compromises the sport, and I think that Racing Victoria has lost the way a bit here. It's walking on eggshells, there's more to come. And I think it's very, very disappointing the way Racing Victoria and the stewards have handled the whole case.
Most of the Cup Day crowd couldn't have cared less. Should Damien be riding today?
Yes, of course he should.
She's a fan.
He's innocent until proven guilty, so yeah, I think he should be riding today.
There's a widely held perception Racing Victoria didn't want any bad publicity during the Spring Carnival.
He's a draw card for the Melbourne Cup, so it's hard to exclude him.
Have trouble tomorrow with him. Not today. Leave him go today.
Well, racing officials are going to have to answer the perception that it's been delayed and swept under the carpet, hoping to get to the end of their glamour stage. It's the one thing that sporting officials can't do. There'll always be wrongdoing in sport. You have to confront it and deal with it and provide outcomes so that people can have faith in the sport.
Oliver was to ride Green Moon in the Cox Plate, but owner Lloyd Williams sacked him in the wake of the betting scandal. The connections of 2010 Melbourne Cup winner Americain pounced, booking Oliver for the much sought-after ride.
I know the allegations are quite serious, and I know that he supposedly has admitted to them, but I still don't think that should stop him from riding today. And particularly it would be a very much an imposition on the connections of the horse if he was suddenly told he couldn't ride.
Racing Victoria Chief Executive Rob Hines declined to be interviewed by 7:30, but a spokesman says the investigation into Damien Oliver's alleged betting is ongoing, and there are still persons of interest stewards wish to speak to in relation to the race won by Miss Octopussy. He stressed Damien Oliver has not been charged and as a result is still eligible to ride. Does having Damien Oliver on the front page of the paper put a dampener on today?
No, I don't think so. Damien's a champion, he's a champion person, and whatever's happened will sort itself out, I'm sure. But he'll come out there today and he'll ride like a demon. I think he's got a good chance.
And 5.5 star won the Derby.
Oliver has had a successful carnival, riding 2 Group 1 winners since the scandal broke, including Saturday's Victoria Derby. He was in the winner's circle again today.
Should he win the Cup this afternoon, the reaction will be fascinating. I think it will be awkward. I think it would be bad for the sport.
I think it will leave a sour taste over the race, over the meeting and over the day.
In the Melbourne Cup, Oliver's Mount Americain started 3rd favourite. But Racing Victoria dodged a bullet when Oliver's former mount Green Moon gave Lloyd Williams his 4th Melbourne Cup victory.
And Green Moon wins the Melbourne Cup by a length and a half for Yorinde. Jackleberry's run 3rd.
Damien Oliver and Americain finished 10th. Racing Victoria says the investigation into Damien Oliver and several other racing identities will probably be finalised by the end of next week.
I think the racing minister, Dennis Napthine, has to take a much stronger stand than he has, because it falls on his head really what is happening to our racing industry.
The minister says he's waiting on a report from the Racing Integrity Commissioner, Sal Perner, before recommending any changes.
Clearly Racing Victoria needs greater powers, and it has said that it needs greater powers. It needs more cooperation from the police, and that's been the key misgiving. That's been the clear shortcoming through all of this. And then it needs the capacity to be able to stand its participants down.
Another Cup day over, and those in the industry hope there's not another one like it.